Hello, lovelies. We all know just how important eating a healthy breakfast is, but it's easy to get stuck in a rut, which is why today I am so excited to be teaming up with Siggi's to bring you 4 new and delicious breakfast parfaits that are quick, easy, and a great way to start your day. Now, all of these yummy ideas are inspired by the My Siggi's Challenge, where Canada's freshest recipe creators will be competing to create the most delicious original recipe using Siggi's skyr yogurt. And the best part is, I get to judge all of the tasty entries. How awesome is that? Now, if you're not familiar with Siggi's Icelandic skyr yogurt, there is a lot to love. First of all, it's made with 100% natural ingredients, real fruit, and very little sugar, so you can feel really good about it. It's also naturally high in protein, which leaves you feeling fuller longer. And finally, it doesn't contain any preservatives, thickeners, or artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners, so you know exactly what you're getting in each and every bite. But my favorite part has got to be the rich and creamy texture, which is super delicious and perfect in things like the parfaits I'm going to be showing you today. Starting with this unbelievably yummy tropical sunshine parfait. Yes, this parfait is absolutely bursting with tropical colors and flavors, which is why I love it so much. It's kind of like a holiday for your taste buds. And let's be honest, guys, who could not use a holiday right about now? This recipe all starts with Siggi's coconut flavored skyr yogurt. Now, the coconut flavor comes in these amazing ready to go single serve packs, so they're perfect for snacking on the go, but they also work really, really well in an amazing parfait like this. I'm gonna go ahead and get a good layer of my yogurt down into the bottom of my parfait glass. Now, the secret to making a parfait really successful is all about the layers. So you wanna make sure that you're getting these lovely layers, starting with your yogurt and then building on with things like your granola and your beautiful fruit. Now, I have got some plain granola headed in here. A little extra fiber in the morning goes a long way. You can make your own granola or use store-bought. Both are great options. Next, I wanna start to pile in my fruit, starting with some lovely pineapple. You can see I've got all of my fruit really finely chopped. That just makes the texture of your parfait a little nicer to eat, a little bit easier. You wanna make everything really uniform in size. I've got some bright, gorgeous, sunny mango headed in here. And then I'm going to add another layer of my coconut flavored yogurt. I'll add a little bit more granola for even more great crunch. Some more pineapple, some gorgeous green kiwi, one of my favorite tropical fruits. And then I wanna just finish this off with a little additional crunch thanks to some coconut chips. Now, if you guys are not familiar with coconut chips, they're so crisp and delicious. And guys, can you think of a sunshinier way to start your day? I don't think so. My next delicious parfait recipe is inspired by some of my favorite flavors from the Middle East. It is a fig and pomegranate parfait, and oh my gosh, guys, it is bursting with fruit flavor and so much goodness. Now, the base for this parfait is going to be Siggi's plain skyr yogurt. I'm going to be sweetening it up with just a little drizzle of honey. If you wanted to use some vanilla flavored here instead, that would work really well. And I'm just gonna get started once again by layering in my yogurt in the bottom of my parfait glass. Then it's time to add a little bit of sweetness. I'm doing that with some honey, just a nice drizzle. Honey and yogurt are a match made in heaven, as we all know. Next, I wanna add a little bit of crunch and some fiber to this. So I'm gonna do that with some plain granola. Then we wanna get in here with our fruit. So I have got some beautiful fresh figs here. Now, you can't always find fresh figs at the supermarket, so whenever I do, I always buy them and come up with something delicious to do with them because they're so flavorful and yummy. Next, I'm going to add some pomegranate arrows to this. I also love pomegranate. They're so juicy and sweet and they pop in your mouth. Then I'm going to layer on some more of my yogurt, a little drizzle of honey for sweetness, and some more figs, pomegranate, and finally, we are going to top all of this yumminess off with some chopped pistachios for a little bit of extra crunch and some gorgeous green color. There you go, guys. Fig and pomegranate parfait perfection. Go figure. Next, guys, I wanna share something a little bit different, but really, really delicious. It is a savory breakfast parfait. And if you've never tried one, your taste buds are in for a serious treat. And it's all inspired by the yummy flavors of an everything bagel. So I'm going to be starting by mixing up some of my incredible everything granola. It all starts with some rolled oats. I'm just using some good old-fashioned rolled oats here. You could use quick oats in this recipe if that's what you have on hand. It's pretty forgiving. Next, I am going to pile in all of that everything flavor. So it starts with some sesame seeds. To that, I'm going to add some poppy seeds. I've got some dehydrated onion flakes headed in here, as well as some dehydrated minced garlic. And I'm also going to be adding a good helping of flaked sea salt. And for just a little more body in this granola, I'm also going to be adding some sunflower seeds. You can skip these if you want to, or you could swap in some almonds or even some walnuts would be great here, but I'm using sunflower seeds because that's what I had on hand in the pantry. I'm gonna give that a good toss, make sure everything is well combined. And then we're going to get our wet ingredients into the bowl, starting with a little bit of olive oil. I've also got a tiny bit of maple syrup headed in here. Now you don't have to worry about the maple syrup adding a ton of sweetness here, but what it is going to do is help all of your granola sort of stick together so that you get those nice clusters that are so wonderful in granola. And finally, I'm also going to be adding a little bit of egg white. So I've got 1 egg white here. I just gave it a quick mix until it was nice and frothy. And that's it, guys. We're just going to mix all of this up. You wanna make sure that all of your oats are well coated, and then we will get it onto a baking sheet and get it into the oven to bake. Let's get this poured out, and then we're gonna smooth it out. The garlic, the onion, the goodness. Now it's time to get this into the oven at 325 degrees for about 25 minutes or so. You want it to be nice and golden on top. You can go ahead and give it a quick stir halfway through the cooking process to make sure it cooks evenly. And when it's cool, it's golden, it's crunchy, it looks like this. It's so yummy, and it pairs really perfectly with Siggi's plain skyr yogurt. So this is totally unsweetened. It's got a beautiful, rich, creamy texture, and it reminded me a little bit of cream cheese with that wonderful tang. So it was the perfect complement for my everything granola. Now I'm just gonna start once again by getting a layer of yogurt down in my cup. This stuff is so wonderful. It's protein packed. It's got no added sugar at all. So there's a lot to love about it. Next, I'm going to get in here with some of this incredible everything bagel granola. And then I'm going to be adding some avocado to this. I toss my avocado in a little bit of lemon juice to prevent it from browning and add just a little bit of tartness. I'm also going to be adding some cucumber here. Then I'll add a little more yogurt, a little more cucumber, and finish it off with even more of that amazing granola. What more could you ask for in a savory breakfast parfait? It's green, it's glorious, and yes, it tastes just as good as it looks. Finally, guys, if you've got a sweet tooth, then this next recipe is for you. It's my Black Forest breakfast parfait, and yes, it tastes like Black Forest cake, except it is loaded with good for you ingredients. Now for this recipe, I am using 2 different flavors of my Siggi skyr yogurt. I have got the dark cherry as well as the vanilla, a nice combination that helps me sort of capture all of the yumminess of traditional Black Forest cake. And in the middle of all of that, I am going to be adding some of my yummy chocolate granola. Now in this recipe, you can definitely use store-bought chocolate granola, but you won't believe how easy it is to make yourself. It all starts with some oats in my bowl. To my oats, I am going to add some slivered almonds. Now the almonds in this recipe are optional, but of course, they're always delicious and they add a little extra nutrition to it. So totally up to you. If you have other nuts on hand, like pecans, walnuts, or even peanuts are really, really good in this granola. Next, because of course we are talking chocolate, we are going to be adding some cocoa powder. Just plain old-fashioned unsweetened cocoa powder works really well here. And I also am going to be adding just a touch of salt to this as well. Where there is sweetness, there should always be just a little bit of salt. So first thing I wanna do is just get my dry ingredients nice and well combined. It's just gonna help everything come together a little more easily. And then it's time to add my wet ingredients. Now for the sweetness in this recipe, I am using some straight up maple syrup. And I've also got some coconut oil headed in here. The coconut oil has been melted. I'll stir that so everything is well coated, and then I'm going to get this onto a baking sheet and get it into the oven at 325 degrees for between 25 and 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you can get it out of the oven, and you'll want to let it cool completely before adding it to your parfait. I know, guys, sometimes waiting is the hardest part. So in my parfait glass, I've got a good layer of my dark cherry flavor skyr yogurt. I'm going to pile in a good helping of my chocolate granola. Then I'm going to top that with some of my vanilla skyr yogurt, even more of that yummy chocolate granola, and I'm going to top that off with this unbelievable homemade sweet cherry sauce. It's really simple to prepare. It all starts with just a small saucepan on the stove over medium heat. To that, I'm going to be adding some pitted cherries. Now, you could use fresh cherries here, but I actually always use frozen. They're a little more affordable and they're easier to find out of season, which is why I love them so much. To that, I am going to add the juice of half a lemon. And I'm also going to be adding a little sprinkle of sugar. Basically, all we want to do is let our cherries cook away for 10 minutes or so. What's going to happen is the cherries are going to burst and release all of their juices. And as this cooks, it's going to reduce and become nice and syrupy and saucy and perfect for topping our parfait. I like finishing this off with another sprinkle of those slivered almonds for crunch. And oh my gosh, guys, you've got breakfast that tastes like dessert. What is not to love? I hope you guys will give all of today's delicious recipes a try, and if you do, don't forget to share your pictures with us by tagging @Siggy's Canada and me, of course, because you know how much I love seeing your kitchen creations. Or even better, get creative and create your own original My Siggy's Challenge recipe. I really can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.